And can I tell this story? Can I tell the story?
Yes.
I want to tell this story. Some of you may have heard me tell this story, but this is actually how I know how God works. So when I was in Baltimore, and I was started out in Baltimore making $22,000 a year. By the time I finished, I was making $57,000. So I thought that was it. When I went to Chicago and they offered me $250,000 a year, Gail said, "That's it. You never have to work again." 200. So I've come up the ranks. I've had every single salary from the time I was 16 years old and first started working at the radio station, made $100 a week. And then I went from $100 a week. And then I made $10,000 a year, $12,000, $15,000, all the way up the ranks. And when I was in Baltimore, there was a woman who was a producer of this show I was doing called People Are Talking. And wealthy Jewish woman who still remains a friend. Arlene Weiner is her name. And her husband, Arnold, very famous attorney in Baltimore. And so I went to visit Arlene at her house, and Arlene had, there were like 3 cars in the driveway, and I was like, whoa, there's a Jaguar, and there's a Mercedes, and then there was like a Stingray for their son. I was like, Arlene is rich. And I walked into Arlene's house, and they got all the things, and I remember standing in the kitchen looking out Arlene Weiner's window, and I could see in the front yard these 6 trees. And I went, oh, rich people have trees.
Right.
If I ever get enough money to buy myself a house, I'm gonna have me 6 trees. And I was at my house in Santa Barbara. A couple of years after I'd moved into the house, I was standing in the kitchen looking out the window.
Praises.
And I was standing there waiting on the tea to brew, and I looked out, and I saw the 6 trees. And I went, there's the 6 trees. There's the 6 trees. I walked out into the front of the yard, y'all. I wish I had a picture of my front yard. And beyond the 6 trees were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trees. The bishop can tell you, I live with some trees.
Yes.
I am surrounded by trees, and the trees have trees. The trees have little tree babies.
Yes.
And in that moment, I thought, wow, I had the dream for the 6, but Jesus had a bigger dream for me. Woo! Woo!
No, you won't outpreach me up here.
He had a bigger dream for me. So here's the thing. You plant the 6 in your good soil. You plant it in your good soil. You nurture that good soil. You ask God, what do you want me to do with this good soil? And one day you're going to look up and you are standing in a forest.
That's fabulous.
You are standing in a forest. Whatever it is, you give it to Him. You offer it in surrender it all, and it will come back to you 1,000-fold. I can tell you that is true because I am living God's dream for me. Thank you, Dallas.
Amazing. Absolutely incredible. Give it up for Oprah Winfrey. Come on. Miss Oprah Winfrey. Can I say one thing before we close? What she said about your belief system about yourself is one of the hardest changes to make you will ever make in your life. And if you want to start the change, one clue that I have found that works very well, watch who you hang around. They are a mirror that often reflects what you really think of yourself, and this canceling out of the idea of imposter syndrome, that when you get in a better situation, you self-sabotage yourself out of that situation. Refuse to run and hide. Stay there if you don't have the right clothes. Stay there if you don't have the right shoes. Stay there if you don't learn the language yet. Stay there if you don't know what to think about yourself. Stay there if they mistreat you. Stay there if they don't like you. Stay there if you have to learn a whole new way of talking and talk real slow so that you don't go into your old dialect and hit that default setting. And over time, nothing is impossible to him that believes. It has been my great honor to have the privilege to have in front of this wonderful audience the conversation with my friend.
Thank you, Dallas.
And my sister. Thank you for coming.
I'm so overjoyed to be here. So overjoyed to be here. I have to say that, let's speak a minute about this imposter thing, because the first time somebody told me in an interview they felt like an imposter, I had to go look it up, because I know whose I am. When you know whose you are, when you really know whose you are, you know who put you in those rooms. You couldn't be there. The reason I don't understand it is you couldn't be there unless he put you there.
Right.
You are there because you belong there. You belong there, and you're there to be shown how your being there changes the space because of the energy that you're bringing into the space.
You're absolutely right.
Absolutely right. I've never felt like an imposter anywhere. And most places I go, certainly in the earlier years, I would have to leave and go, was I the only black person in the room? Was I the only black person in the room? Oh, I certainly was the only woman in the room, the only black person in the room. And it never occurred to me to feel like I didn't belong, because I knew that what Maya Angelou says is true in her poem, The Grandmothers. She says, I come as one, but baby, I stand as 10,000. You are never in there alone. Everybody who ever prayed for you, whoever wanted for you, whoever hoped for you, you walk into the space with all of them. And we all have been prayed up to this moment.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.